Thou hast covered me in my mother's womb. I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth right well.
Now I'm going to jump into the fraud. I hope most of you, or I think most of you, have probably seen these drawings. This was in my textbook when I was a kid, and it has to do with embryology, looking at embryos and how similar they are. And we have, again, it's a cartoon. They're not going to show real pictures in these textbooks. And they have a fish, an amphibian, a reptile, a bird, and a human. And just look how similar they look in the early stages. Just, wow, we're so much like those other creatures that evolution could have happened, according to Ernst Haeckel, a Nazi German scientist who believed that it was the earlier life stages that changes happened to create different creatures. And so something happened in the womb, and instead of becoming fish, we started becoming humans, and that's why we look so similar. And it also used to say that we had gills and stuff, but we don't. Humans don't ever have gills at any point in their development, ever. We never do. That was a lie. Some of you were probably told that, like I was. We never have gills. But you'll see words like this. It says, the fact that early development, they use the word fact quite a bit, of fish, birds, and humans is similar indicates that these animals share a common ancestor. Again, common ancestor, not creator, but they're saying the fact that they look similar. And here's more pictures. I've gone through. You can take these. These are in science books today. But here's the guy that made them, Ernst Haeckel, 1800s is when he was drawing these things up. Over 100 years ago, this guy was drawing this. Look at his drawing. Look how similar they look. More similar than the books. The books are kind of changing them a little bit. But when you investigate them and look at real photos, embryologists came along with actual photos and revealed, if you look at the bottom of the newspaper, the very bottom row, that's what they actually look like. That's how different they are. There's so much more characteristics that are not similar than those that are. See if I can make it a little bigger. There you go. So the embryos on the bottom, those are actual photos, and the ones on the row above it at the exact same stage, this is what Ernst Haeckel drew. He basically just hit copy and paste before it was cool and made all of his drawings, and then took credit away from the creator in making life. And so he lied, and it's been proven a hoax. And it was proven a hoax decades ago, as soon as they started taking photos of these things. There you go. It's a bigger image right there, so you can see what they really look like. But again, a hoax from over 100 years ago, you think it would be long gone from our textbooks, yet it is still there today, influencing our kids. But this is where it gets dark. You have this guy's images of what evolution looked like for man. And of course, he starts with the gorilla-looking creature. You start with number 12 on the bottom right. And you can see number 11 kind of looks like a Jewish person. Again, this was Nazi Germany. So, of course, the least developed human was a Jewish person. And then you go to number 10, starting to look more ape-like. Number 9, still kind of apish-like, but the mouth sticking out a little further. 8, 7, 6. They start trying to make it look like African Americans. And then number 4 is like a Neanderthal. So the black people are before the Neanderthal, according to his drawings. And then number 3 kind of looks like a Hispanic person. Number 2 is your Asian person. And number 1 would be your super race, according to this guy. And they draw out on the right. He's got these little pygmies drawn out, these little people. And these are your missing links. He even has Loch Ness. I think he's the guy. But he drew that before Loch Ness was discovered. I don't know why he's got Loch Ness over there. Maybe he knew more than he was letting on. But he was a racist artist that was using art instead of actual science to express his views. His colleagues even talk about that, how it wasn't scientifically based, but he was a good artist, and he was sharing these things. And to become famous, that's what you do. You share your work, you get published, and it goes worldwide. And so they took those images out of our books, but the embryos, those are good. They're not as racist. But this stuff led to a lot of things that we see back in Germany. But even worse, this stuff made its way to America. And you have an incident in the Bronx Zoo where they used those drawings and those ideas of evolution to allow them to take a young child from his family and bring him to America to the Bronx Zoo and put him on display. And this is a sad, tragic story. This kid, Ota Benga, his teeth were sharpened, and that's what made them think, oh, wow, this will be a really good kid to put on display. His family, they sharpened their teeth. They did all these tribal things, and they found them living in a remote place, I believe, in Africa. And so they took this guy away from his family and put him on display with a monkey. Thousands upon thousands of people came to see this boy. And that's heartbreaking. He later grew up and had depression issues, obviously, thinking, them treating him like a missing link, putting him in a zoo, and then going, okay, this is wrong. We'll let you go back into civilization and just see what happens. He ended up killing himself. Extremely sad story, heartbreaking. And Ota Benga, you can look that up. It's true. The Bronx Zoo is still there. Cancel culture didn't get after that. Nor did they ever take the work of the guy that drew that out of your textbooks. Your kids are seeing work in textbooks that Ernst Haeckel produced, and it's stuff that would continuously lead to that if Christians, the ones that are being banned and silenced, didn't step up and say something about this.
Let no man deceive himself. If any man among you seemeth to be wise in this world, let him become a fool, that he may be wise. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. For it is written, He taketh the wise in their own craftiness,